Alright guys, and welcome to a brand new series of this AFC Wimbledon Manager Mode career. We are in Season 3, still in League 1 and still trying to get to the Premier League using only youth players. So this is just part 1 of pre-season, because I've done pre-season in 2 parts again, but I've done it slightly different. I've done it continuously this time, whereas in the last season I showed you how my team looked at the start and then I showed you highlights from the friendlies. This time it's just going to be continuous, so it's all in the timeline order basically, so I hope that makes sense and I'm sure you'll pick it up as we go along. So just at the end of the season, Season 2 here, got a scout report back and sorry about that, there was some average players. Adam Hatfield, not great at all. Jackson SM, still not really doing it. Lloyd Rowe, again, not great, but Mark Dickinson, his potential stood out to me and I was just like, I need to get this guy. So I went and got him, and as you can see, that McQuindry or whatever, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, he has been signed up by another team, but I was never going to sign him anyway really, he's just not got the potential. So I did go for this Mark Dickinson, I offered him a contract and straight away he accepted. So we have now got another youth player on our team and I will show you his stats at the end of this episode, just before we play our first friendly. So we move on to 2 players that are leaving the club, which is Dimitri Delort and Lewis Stewart. They are both leaving because their contracts are expiring and I do not want them for the next season basically. So we end the season and my reputation has been enhanced, which is always good, and then the board congratulate me on an amazing season. So they said avoid relegation, and I came 13th in the league, which is which is avoiding relegation by quite a bit. So they were very happy and they wanted me to stay. So just showing you my other offers: Southend, Chesterfield in League 1 as well, Melbourne Heart in Australia, Syrianska in Sweden, Amiens SC Football in the 2nd Division of French League, Gangwon in Korea Republic, or stay with AFC Wimbledon. There was only ever going to be one choice, and that was to stay with AFC Wimbledon. So one thing that is a bit frustrating though is last season, you'll remember, I got all these youth players in that I didn't sign, that were signed from, like, they were given to me because I didn't have a big enough team. But I thought that this season I'd be able to sell them, but I can't. I don't know why. It still says new youth player, but they're not exactly new. I've had them for a whole year. So I thought, well, the best thing to do is just loan them out, try and get them a bit better, and if I can ever sell them, then they might be a bit better. If not, wait till the contracts run out and just let them go, basically. I don't want to release them because it just costs money and it's pointless, really. So onto my scouting network, I did sign a Japanese scout. He was the only one I could afford, but I thought, you know what, I might as well. And then obviously the board came and said, welcome to the new season, etc, etc. Finished mid-table. Season's budget is a pretty decent budget, 325 grand transfer budget and a pretty decent wage budget of 2 grand. Obviously I can play about with that and try and get more wage budget or whatever I need. And the transfer market is open. And then I got a offer from Plymouth Argyle for James Muller, who is on the transfer list, but I don't want to sell him lightly, so I said no to 40 grand. I thought I do want a bit more money than that, so I thought, yeah, I'm going to say no. And my scout came back saying he's ready, and then my Japanese scout said he's ready. My other scout, my English scout, came back and said he's got the scout report for me, and as you can see, the player potential can be quite low, so it really puts me off if someone like that, 84 possibility, but 58. So you just got to wait it out and see if you can see if it improves in, you know, if they're looking pretty decent. As you can see, that Asim McQuandry, as I said, has been snapped up, but his potential was really low actually. So I wouldn't have even looked at him, to be honest, because it costs money to sign these players. So I don't want to sign players light-heartedly. But anyway, moving on to my other scout, not even going to try Takuda. I'll just call him Takuda because that's his surname. I did send him to Japan because that is where he's from, and he should be able to find slightly better players than if I signed him to anybody, sent him to anywhere else. Sorry. And Plymouth then came back saying that they didn't want James Mulley, and then they came back saying, hang on a minute, no, we do want James Mulley, we will pay you 50 grand. So very odd, but I thought, yep, go on then. it was odd that they came and said no, we don't want him, and then they came back and said, in fact, hang on a minute, yes, we do want him. And James Mulley did go for the grand sum of 50,000. So here is my team that's going to be my main team this season. Just before the game against Academia, as you can see, Seb Brown, Sam Hatton, Charles Williams, Bradley Johnson, Chris Bush, and Mark Dickinson on the right. He's 46 rated, so it's not brilliant, but I can definitely get him improved. He'll be swapping with Ryan Jackson. As you can see, his sprint stats match up nowhere near as good as Ryan Jackson, so he will be swapping with Ryan Jackson. But to get him game time, the more game time he gets, the better he will become, and that is what it's about, really. And as you can see, his stats aren't brilliant, but I'm sure. I don't want to say we could carry him, but I'm sure we could use him, and I'm sure he will be a decent player. Now, 6'2" is quite tall for a right mid, and he's not great skill moves at 1 star, so there's definitely room for improvement there, and I'm sure with game time this season he will hopefully get into the 50s. 50s would be a really good season for him. So as you can see, I am playing these friendlies on Legendary, as I always do, and the first one was against Academia. I was a bit disappointed to play these because I thought I wanted someone that I could challenge myself and put myself up against, if you like. And straight away in the 4th minute, they took the lead. And when I say put myself up against and challenge myself, I mean compare myself to. Because Academia, I don't really know. In 3 seasons and I don't know how good they are, if they're actually a good team or not. So it'd been nice to get maybe a Championship team, a League 2 team, something like that. Someone that I knew was good. But I mean, where that goal came from, I will never know. I was absolutely amazed at that goal. Not as good as his goal last season, no. But he just took it inside with his left foot and just banged into top. What a finish that was. And then in the 69th minute, they got forward again, Diego Valente. And I made a challenge with Brett Johnson, but unfortunately it was a late challenge. Did give away a penalty, and he wasn't too pleased about giving away a penalty. It's only a friendly, you know, just get over it. And Eder, the one that scored the first goal, stepped up and put the penalty away, which gave them a 2-1 lead. And unfortunately, we did have 1 or 2 decent chances, but I'm just going to show you the goals in this friendly. That is how the game finished. It did finish AFC Wimbledon 1, Academia, or Academia. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. 2. So yeah, finished 2-1 to them, and I'll just show you the stats now. I mean, as you can see, they had more possession, and all their shots were on target. But we did have more shots, and we did have 5 shots on target out of 7, which isn't too bad. But anyway, guys, this has been the end of part 1 of pre-season, and I will get part 2 out tomorrow for you. So I hope you have liked this video. Please do not forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next episode.